Wall Street tanked yesterday with the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P closing with big drops. When we're playing the stock market, we're supposed to buy low and sell high. But it turns out many people do exactly the opposite, and that costs them money. Financial professional Tony Drake from Drake & Associates joins us to explain why we make bad investment decisions and how we can guard against them. Good morning, Tony.
Great to be here, Mike. I'm ready for you to lay down on the couch, and we're going to dive in here.
All right, yeah. Explain to me what's wrong with all of my decisions. It's called behavioral finance. What is that?
I think a lot of people don't associate investing with psychology, but it really is all about psychology. We assume that when it comes to finances, people make rational decisions. But oftentimes, that's not really the case. People often make financial decisions based on built-in biases, maybe how you were raised with money and emotions, and they may not even realize they're doing it. You brought it up, but a great example is when the stock market drops. A lot of people panic. I don't want to see my hard-earned money drop, and they rush to sell. They end up selling at the bottom, which is the worst place to sell. And behavioral finance takes those irrational biases and those emotionally based decisions into account so you can try to make better decisions.
Well, why do people buy when it's down? You can understand that. They don't want to lose any more money.
Yeah, there's been a lot of great studies on behavioral finance, and people, have found that we make these decisions, these thinking processes, if you will, that we're not even aware of. They just seem to happen. And when our investments lose value, that makes us see the stock as a loss, and we instinctively want to get rid of things that make us lose money. On the other hand, when we see big stock gains and maybe we're out of the market and sitting in cash, now we don't want to miss out. We get elated and excited, and you buy when the market's high. Selling low, buying high is exactly opposite of what we want to do. So you really want to be aware of these biases and want to make sure they're not making an influence on your decisions.
What are some more of these biases we have?
Well, there's a couple more we think of. First, there's the overconfidence bias. Let me give you an example. More than 80% of people think they're better than the average driver. Now, just do the quick math. That's not possible, right? But we all tend to think that. And this really flows over into investing and reading the stock market. There's also loss aversion. We tend to fear losses more than we like gains. I see that in my practice working with retirees all the time. If we have a really good year in the market, let's say we're up 20%, most of them aren't spending any extra money. But if we had a bad year and we lost 20%, now they're considering, can I take that vacation? Can I go to Florida in the winter? So it really makes a difference. And these biases really cause us to make these decisions that are emotionally driven. We know investing should be based on math and science data. We don't want to base it on emotional decisions.
Well, how can we stop ourselves from making those biased decisions?
I think the most helpful thing you want to think about is, acknowledging that some of the emotions are actually driving the bus. And when you pause, sometimes you can identify that and then let your kind of brain kick in a little bit, put those feelings aside and make judgments based on rational thinking instead. Remember, our first instincts often is wrong because it's based on those biases. So we want to get in the habit of asking ourselves, why am I feeling like I should buy and sell? Examine that impulse thoughtfully. Oftentimes you'll find it's a better decision to give yourself some time to think. There's not many times in a market where we have to make a decision right now. A great financial advisor or fiduciary can also help you through that process.
Interesting way to look at it from that angle. Okay, Tony, where can we get more information as we're looking into this stuff?
We have some great tools and articles on behavioral finance at wealthwisconsin.com.
Great to talk to you, Tony.
Great to be here, buddy.